Now that's a bit better. Welcome to the 2017 Bridgestone 4x4 Clap Challenge. This is the Bridgestone 4x4 Clap Challenge, a competition where near standard 4x4s get to compete in different obstacles. This year also marks 10 years of the Clap Challenge. As you can imagine, over the years there has been some ups and downs. Now let's take a look at those ups and downs. So over the 10 years, we've had some fun times and some awesome company that came along. But you could be sitting there, wondering how does the challenge work?
Firstly, you need a 4x4 trail. Over the years, Bridgestone Challenge has traveled all over Southern Africa, from Cape Town to the Free State, from Limpopo to Northwest, and from Swaziland to plenty of tracks around Gauteng. It's been a great way to see some of the most beautiful places in South Africa. Once you have a track, next you need some obstacles. There are 10 obstacles in each event and teams can score a maximum of 100 points per obstacle. Hitting one of the poles costs 25 points. Stopping or reversing in the obstacles are worth 5 points each. The poles are positioned in places that are not on the ideal 4x4 line you'd normally take, just to make it a bit more difficult and force you out of your comfort zone. Marshals are stationed at each obstacle that not only score each competitor, they also make sure the teams are safe, enforcing strict safety rules. Navigation also plays a big role, so the teams first have to get themselves to the obstacles before they stand a chance of scoring some points. It's also a family event with something for everyone. Importantly, every team consists of a driver and co-driver. Besides the obvious navigation job, the co-driver can also be deployed outside the vehicle, acting as a spotter, guiding the driver through the obstacles. At other times, the co-driver has to get his or her feet wet to check a water crossing. This duty is often an unwelcome part of the job. Sometimes the co-driver even needs to act as a driver's eyes when the driver is blindfolded in an obstacle. Essentially, the co-driver plays a vital role in this challenge.
The fire's ready. Let me get the chops. See you on the other side of the ad break. Welcome back. You may have noticed that some teams compete in tiny little Jimneys, while some teams compete in huge Nissan Patrols. But how do the organizers keep it fair for everyone? Let me explain.
First, let's watch this double cab slowly make its way through this obstacle. On some obstacles, a long wheelbase 4x4 will have an advantage, and on other obstacles, the shorties will have a better chance to score more points. Like this one. See how much easier it is for the little Landy even without power steering. Some Nissan Patrol drivers reckon you can drive a wee little Jimny sideways through some of the gates that their big barge can hardly squeeze through. Well, maybe not quite, but as you can see, it's a fair bit easier in the Jimny. So to ensure that everyone, despite the 4x4 they drive, have a fair shot at the silverware, there are two classes, long wheelbase and short wheelbase. Although they drive the same obstacles, the longer 4x4s and the shorties are measured against similar wheelbase vehicles. That also means a Suzuki Jimny has to compete against the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 3-door with all its lockers and ultra-low range gearing. In the end, there is no substitute for knowing one's vehicle to AT and for actual driving skills.
Talking about skills, we chatted to the reigning short wheelbase and long wheelbase champion to find out what does it take to become a Bridgestone 4x4 club champion.
This is Johan Reichel, Appels, as he is better known. Lives in the northwest town of Lichtenburg, where he sells agricultural equipment. He competes in a Toyota Fortuner 3-litre D4D. So what does it take to win the Bridgestone Club Challenge? Appels?
I would say what makes a good 4x4 driver is know your vehicle, know your vehicle's limitation, and listen to your navigator, or in my case, my wife.
And here's another Johan. Johan Becker is from Benoni, and he runs his own guttering business. He drives a little Suzuki Jimny in the Club Challenge. But he also pilots this monster in the 4x4 national competition, where he has competed since 1999. So even though this is only his second year in the Club Challenge, he has many years of driving under his belt. So what do you reckon makes for a champion driver, Johan?
I think a good 4x4 competition driver makes, you must know your vehicle properly, you know. I can go there, I can't go there, my power, you know, how worth is your car, the length of your car, and practice, you know, practice is, I think, is a big thing. Know it, learn it, play it, you know. I'm playing every second weekend I'm playing 4x4, so yeah.
Since we're talking to people and I need to get some boerewors, here's Patrick John Leslie from Bridgestone, and we asked him why an international tire company would want to spend money on a local 4x4 competition.
So for us, the competition is really about engaging the 4x4 community. It's about building an emotional connection. Yes, we know that we've got a very, very strong product portfolio, particularly in our 4x4 range of the Jula as well as the Destination, across both the all-terrain and the mud-terrain. But it was really then above that emotional connection, we want to show off that product. So across our events that we have throughout the year, what you'll see is a huge differentiation in terms of the terrains that we take on. And for us, it's very important to show off that Bridgestone can handle all of those terrains.
Now, thank you for the words, Patrick. Earlier, we showed you highlights of the Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge. Here are a few clips of what happens when a plan doesn't quite come together.
The 2016 Bridgestone Club Challenge started off with 4 qualifying rounds, all taking place on the McCarthy 4x4 Club's Rhino Park trails. Teams battled it out to qualify for entry into 4 competition rounds, taking place later in the year. In spite of some of the hair-raising moments on Obstacle 4, some contestants made it look easy. But others didn't fare so well. The Rhino Park Trail proved to be a tough challenge to everyone who drove it. Having scored sufficient points, the 60 qualifying contestants headed to the Sandwani Game Lodge near Cullinan. With Saki Kotier setting up the course and with plenty of sandy hills to climb, things were about to get a lot tougher, even for past champions like Marko Marinkovic, seen here at Obstacle 5. At least he didn't get stuck in the mud like some others. Sandy obstacles like these require momentum, which in turn requires a bit of enthusiasm in the throttle department. For round 2, the teams visited Volvo Kloof 4x4 trail, and as expected, Saki stepped it up a notch. Some drivers did so too. Spokesbreed near Heidelberg hosted the 3rd round, with clear leaders emerging in the race for the championship as they clambered over all the rocks. After a near miss by a tornado at the Footpad Kloof, the final event was called off, so the championship was decided by the points accrued over the previous 3 rounds. Johan and Apples taking the wins in their respective classes.
Almost chow time. Now, over the years, this event has been supported by various sponsors. Now, it would not be possible to have this event without these sponsors, and this year is no different. This year, no less than 5 companies have joined forces with Bridgestone to host the Club Challenge. This includes Opposite Lock, Front Runner, Cross Country Insurance, Tenco, and Snowmaster. These companies not only provided amazing prizes, but also competed in the event in their tricked out 4x4s. More about some of those tricks later in the series as we turn a stock Suzuki Jimny into a lean, mean 4x4 machine. So what about this year? What can you expect to see at the Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge? Here's what.
Next week, I head to the first of 4 qualifying rounds held at Wolverkloof 4x4 track, east of Pretoria, for a bit of spectating. And believe me, there are some hairy moments and a lot of poles killed. We'll continue to cover those qualifying rounds in the next few episodes. Something very peculiar also happened. I got so tired of watching all the other guys having fun in their 4x4s, I managed to convince Bridgestone that I should also take part in the challenge. You'll have to keep watching to find out if I managed to qualify for the championship rounds in my little gym.
That is cool.
And that's it for the first episode of the 2017 Bridgestone 4x4 Club Challenge. Now next week we're up at the crack of dawn to catch the first action at the first qualifying rounds. Now don't be a chop. Remember to watch next week.
Correct?